This has been a highly anticipated video for the last year or so that I purposely pushed aside. Mikey Williams is easily the most popular player in high school basketball, and a lot of you guys have been wanting me to break down his game even before he entered his freshman year of high school. Now, I wasn't comfortable doing a video on Mikey back then just because I normally don't do breakdowns on players so young, and also prospects that young have so much room to develop and mature. But now that Mikey has begun his sophomore year and he's finally played some elite competition, I think it's time that I make this video. It's fair to say that Mikey is probably the most polarizing high school prospect in the country. Some people think he's the real deal, and some believe he's extremely overhyped. Well, in this breakdown, I'll be taking a look at the good and the bad of Mikey's game, and at the end of the video, I'll give you guys my opinion on how good this kid really is. It's clear when watching film on Mikey that he's at his best getting to the rim in transition and attacking in the half-court set. He is an elite level athlete that is capable of some really exciting finishes in the open court. Everyone knows what a terrific leaper Mikey is, but he also has terrific body control in mid-air when converting at the rim. Off the dribble, Mikey is a powerful attacker that frequently uses his strong frame to get to where he wants on the floor, and he does a good job embracing contact on finishes. He's not a shifty ball handler, but his change of pace with the ball in his hands is impressive, and he also has solid footwork around the basket. I also really like that Mikey is attempting to adjust his game a bit too, using more floaters in the lane instead of trying to consistently dunk over the trees in the paint. Now, he still tries to go for the highlight finish on the majority of his drives, but Mikey is slowly learning how to slow things down and take the more conservative shot. Mikey also has the potential to be an elite level shot creator, especially as he continues to add more tools to his arsenal. Mikey is a very confident scorer that won't hesitate to pull up from NBA range, and this is a shot he can actually make when he's under control and on balance with his jump shot. He has a solid pull-up game off the dribble, especially in the mid-range area. Mikey gets good elevation on his jump shot, and his release is quick enough to get his shot off in most situations. When he's under a lot of defensive pressure, he primarily uses step-back moves to create separation, and Mikey has also shown the ability to score in the mid-post, converting on difficult turnaround jumpers on more than a few occasions. I'll be discussing his consistency and shot selection later in the video, but it's clear that Mikey has a lot of potential as a scoring guard. And I believe that Mikey can really take his game to the next level once he learns how to run a team. Right now, Mikey has the mindset of a scorer, but when you watch him play, you can see the potential he has as a playmaker. His teammate Trey Green primarily runs the one spot for Lake Norman, so Mikey has to play off the ball throughout most of the game. But I've liked what I've seen so far when Mikey is making an effort to get others involved. He's shown patience operating in the pick and roll, accuracy on alley-oop passes in transition, and the ability to find the open man when the defense collapses on him on drives to the basket. Now, Mikey definitely has had some rough moments this season orchestrating the offense, but I believe this is a normal process for young guards with a score-first mindset. I think it's just a matter of Mikey maturing as a basketball player and realizing that creating opportunities for others is how you play winning basketball. So one clear area of improvement for Mikey would have to be his overall shot selection from the floor. As talented of a scorer that Mikey is, he settles for some really difficult shots throughout the course of a game. Part of it could be Mikey wanting to put on a show for the fans, or maybe he's just trying to get himself going offensively. But either way, Mikey will need to work on picking his spots better on the floor when scoring the ball. He attempts a lot of ill-advised perimeter shots early in the possession, and I've also noticed when he's not able to get that first step by his defender, he'll still jack up a really difficult shot under a lot of defensive pressure. I do like his confidence as a scorer, but he simply does not shoot the ball well enough to attempt some of the shots that he does. Mikey also lacks discipline in his shooting mechanics, getting in bad habits of fading away when it's not really necessary, or attempting shots when his feet are not completely set. All of this impacts his efficiency as a scorer, and it has led to some pretty underwhelming performances from Mikey this season. Mikey's decision-making as a driver and playmaker will also need to improve. Even though he's at his best putting his head down and getting to the rim, he can still be reckless at times. Mikey will have his moments where he'll drive right into the teeth of the defense with no real plan, and this usually leads to a forced layup or a charge. As athletic of a player that Mikey is, he gets in really bad habits of trying to finish over the top of every big man that stands in the paint. Mikey only stands at about 6'1", 6'2", so he's going to have to learn how to be craftier when slashing from the perimeter, utilizing more footwork, head fakes, and floaters to score effectively around the basket. And as a playmaker, Mikey has shown flashes of his point guard skills, but he struggles with knowing when to facilitate and when to score. He occasionally gets tunnel vision when he wants to score the ball, and in return, he fails to see the open man standing on the perimeter or cutting to the basket. Mikey is still learning how to create opportunities for others, and throughout the season, he's experienced some of the growing pains that a scorer faces when transitioning to a facilitator, such as forcing passes that aren't really there or over-dribbling when faced with defensive pressure. But all of this is expected from a player of Mikey's age that's adjusting to a new team with a more competitive schedule. I believe as the season progresses, we'll start to see Mikey get more and more comfortable running the offense for Lake Norman. Well, here's my verdict. Mikey Williams is a very talented guard prospect that has plenty of room for improvement, which is perfectly fine. It's unfortunate that some of these media outlets have put him on such a high pedestal now that every time he has a mediocre game, people are quick to call him overrated. It's clear that Mikey is a skilled basketball player, but you can't expect a sophomore in high school to perform well every time he steps on the floor, especially when he's the main guy that teams focus on when they face Lake Norman. In my opinion, Mikey will still be considered one of the top guards in the country by the time he's a senior if he continues to improve on the weaknesses I stated earlier in the video. But I look forward to seeing how Mikey will develop over the next couple of years, and hopefully he will continue to prove a lot of his doubters wrong throughout his career.